جهازك الإلكتروني زي التلفون أو الأيباد أو الكمبيوتر بيحميك تستعمل.
I have heard of it, and I know that payment fraud is if you get your credit or debit card stolen and somebody else makes purchases on it.
Oui, j'ai une amie qui a été victime de l'utilisation de ses données personnelles et de sa carte bancaire. Ses parents ont dû porter plainte à la police.
مرة وأنا صغيرة نزلت تطبيق يعني معين واخترق بياناتي وصار يبعث رسالات لأصدقائي، يعني مش أنا اللي بعثتهم بس يعني مخلة بالأخلاق وهيك.
If someone is asking too many questions like your email, password, personal things, you can be tricked.
De diverses manières. Premièrement, je pense que lorsque ça apparaît de façon inattendue, par exemple, on vous dit que vous avez gagné un concours alors que vous n'aviez pas participé.
Check if the website is safe and make sure, like, to ask your parents maybe if it's safe.
Например, тебе приходят странные сообщения по поводу твоего банка. Я для начала позвоню банку, узнаю всю информацию и не буду сразу отвечать «да», чтобы, например, согласиться или что-нибудь еще. Но когда ты маленький и все такое, лучше пойти к родителям. Они разбираются в этом лучше.
إنه لازم تكون الباسورد تاعتنا قوية وسهل حفظها عشان يعني نحن ما ننساها في أي وقت، وكمان ما نعطيها حتى لأقرب الأصدقاء لأنه يمكن هدول الأصدقاء بس بدهم منك إنه ياخذوا الباسورد وخلاص.
Des mots de passe difficiles à identifier. Ensuite, tu fais des achats sur des sites sûrs et vérifiés.
Because if it is easy, everyone can guess it.
Éviter que d'autres personnes comme les arnaqueurs ne prennent le contrôle de nos comptes pour nous arnaquer. Je crois que les empreintes digitales et la reconnaissance faciale sont plus sûres que les mots de passe.
هو الأمن اللي بيحفظ صورنا خصوصيتنا، يعني الرسائل اللي نحن بنبعتها.
جهازك الإلكتروني زي التلفون أو الأيباد أو الكمبيوتر بيحميك تستعمل.
I have heard of it, and I know that payment fraud if you get your credit or debit card stolen and somebody else makes purchases on it.
Oui, j'ai une amie qui a été victime de l'utilisation de ses données personnelles et de sa carte bancaire. Ses parents ont dû porter plainte à la police.
مرة وأنا صغيرة نزلت تطبيق يعني معين واخترق بياناتي وصار يبعث رسالات لأصدقائي، يعني مش أنا اللي بعثتهم بس يعني مخلة بالأخلاق وهيك.
If someone is asking too many questions like your email, password, personal things, you can be tricked.
De diverses manières. Premièrement, je pense que lorsque ça apparaît de façon inattendue, par exemple, on vous dit que vous avez gagné un concours alors que vous n'aviez pas participé.
We request everyone to go back to your respective seats. We will resume our program in 2 minutes. Again, we request everyone to return to our respective seats. We will resume our program in 2 minutes. Thank you. Again, we are requesting everyone to go back to our respective seats. We will start our program. We will resume the program in 30 seconds. Welcome back, everyone. I hope you had a great time connecting, gaining new friends, and taking photos. Before we start our first panel session this morning, we would like to invite everyone to read the Utrecht Declaration and Commitment to Action for Transforming Social and Financial Education. The Utrecht Declaration is a result of the Global Social and Financial Skills Conference in 2023 in Utrecht, the Netherlands. The declaration reflects a profound understanding of the evolving needs of today's youth. It also urges the governments, educators, and stakeholders to ensure equitable access to quality social and financial education. You can scan the QR code found on the screen to access and to read the Utrecht Declaration. Thank you so much. During lunchtime, I hope you'll find time to read and reflect on the items that can be found on the Utrecht Declaration. For our first session this morning, we will talk about challenges and ideas related to financial literacy according to youth. As you know, the Philippines, through NATCO, is one of the pioneer countries that implemented the Aflatun program in 2005 to 2006. Through the years, we have developed youth savers and leaders who are now excelling in various fields. We thank the Aflatun program for giving young people the space to learn about financial literacy and practice savings through the cooperative system. This session is to be moderated by Justin Lin Limocan. Justine was a youth committee member of NATCO for 4 years. She has started her involvement in the cooperative while she was still in the elementary years. And she is representing one of the cooperative partners, Lamak Multipurpose Cooperative. Currently, Justine is the operations head of Lamak Multipurpose Cooperative, and she is also a recipient of the prestigious Joe Biden Award for Development Educator of the Year 2017 in Bloomsbury, London. Let's welcome our moderator, Justine Lynn Limocon.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Salat, for the kind introduction. Distinguished guests, partners, supporters, fellow young cooperators, fellow youth, and to everyone here, and of course, virtually, good morning and happy Global Money Week. Welcome to the inaugural session where we gather to address the critical topic of financial literacy among youth. Today, we come together to explore the challenges young people face in understanding and managing their finances, whether in bustling metropolises or remote villages, from disparities in access to financial education to cultural and economic barriers. We will examine the multifaceted challenges hindering youth from achieving financial empowerment. Moreover, we will go into brainstorm innovative ideas and solutions tailored to diverse regions, aiming to foster inclusive financial literacy initiatives that empower youth worldwide, emerging from the perspective of our youth leaders. Join us as we kickstart this important conversation as we embark on a journey of insight and inspiration, uncovering the rich tapestry of financial education leadership development among our youth and pave the way for a brighter financial future with our inspiring, esteemed three young speakers for our global youth population. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's get to know our speakers. Our first speaker is the youth representative in NATCO Board of Directors. Embarked on her youth cooperative journey at the age of 10 with Sacred Heart Savings Cooperative. With a decade's involvement, she observed cooperative leaders' dedication and contributed to the youth-led initiatives nationally and locally. The NATCO Children and Youth Team, alongside the Youth Committee, which include cooperative leaders from diverse regions, drives youth development and leadership. She and her peers execute NATCO Children and Youth Network advocacies and goals, complementing her academic pursuit of a business intelligence and analytics bachelor's degree of De La Salle College of St. Benilde. She intertwines her advocacy. Let's give a big hand to our first speaker, Ms. Sofia Maridel Gaboy. Our second speaker is the Provincial Program Coordinator and Youth-Led Program Manager of Lekdis Nusantara Indonesia Foundation, all the way from Indonesia. He leads the initiatives promoting financial literacy and social empowerment among youth. He also expanded program reach and monitored outcomes to ensure its effectiveness. He is focused on empowering the youth for long-term socio-economic development in the program. And he is educator by profession. Ladies and gentlemen, my dear colleagues, a round of applause to our second speaker, Mr. Anjas Abdullah. Our last speaker for our first session started his involvement in the cooperative movement in 2012. He has immersed himself in different youth development initiatives in Panabo Multipurpose Cooperative and has assumed leadership roles in MASPEC and NATCO. He was part of the NATCO Youth Committee from 2014 to 2018 and assumed the NATCO Youth Representative to the board office from 2021 to 2022. He graduated BS Accountancy from Ateneo de Davao University in 2018, cum laude, and he has diverse experience in mergers and acquisition and corporate finance. He is currently an investment banker for Potomac, a US-based M&A advisory firm. Let's give a big hand to our third and last speaker, Mr. Ernie Jan Kahas. I know you are very excited to hear from our speakers from their diverse experience and journey. So without much ado, let's give a big hand and hear from Miss Sofia Merida Gaboy.
Good morning, everyone. It's an honor to see you all here today, distinguished guests, partners, organizers, and participants. And it's an honor to share the stage with you, Sir Anjas, Sir Ernie, and Ma'am Justin. Again, my name is Sophie, and I'm from the Ilocos region in the northwestern part of the Philippines. The Ilocos region is known for its breathtaking landscapes, rich traditions, and friendly people. Beyond this, the Ilocos region offers a glimpse into a simpler way of life. One might assume that the people there, since there's a simpler way of living, they are more financially stable or financially empowered. But this is not always true. Even in the Ilocos region where resourcefulness is known, I've seen firsthand how relying solely on savings isn't enough for long-term financial stability. This applies especially for young people. Financial institutions in the Philippines are recognizing this need of teaching the young people the habit of saving money and now offer savings, investment, loan, and other products and services to them. Providing young people the access to financial products and services is a good step towards financial empowerment. But this is also a double-edged sword. Without the right knowledge, the strong foundation, and guidance, they might face financial problems and distress instead of reaching the financial empowerment that we aspire for them. Easy access to financial services makes young people easy targets of misinformation, scams, debt traps, cybersecurity attacks, and consumerist culture. I recently came across a paid advertisement on Facebook that caught my attention. It was a video of featuring teenagers promoting a digital loan app that promised easy access to money without mentioning any requirements or potential risks. Young people may not fully understand the implications of taking on debt because of this video, and they will be easily lured to taking on debt and then not being able to pay it and getting into financial distress. There is also risk associated in today's consumerist culture. This thrives on the idea of keeping up with trends and relying on buying things for emotional well-being. If a young person is not financially literate, he or she will be overspending without realizing it. Today's financial landscape has complexities indeed. But the good news is successful solutions, and among these is practice in the co-op sector. The National Confederation of Cooperatives, or NATCO, through its advocacy unit for children and youth, are pioneer partners of the Aflatun program in the Philippines. Aflatun in financial and social education in the Department of Education curriculum. The efforts of the cooperative partners and NATCO made it possible for the Aflatun program to reach communities, schools, and homes all over Philippines. So what does this mean for the future? Next slide, please. It shouldn't just be about saving or selling special products to the young people. We also need to move beyond one-off or fragmented financial programs. Financial literacy should be a regular part of their education, equipping them with the knowledge they need to make smart financial decisions. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Sophie, for sharing your journey about financial literacy. And she also highlighted that savings is not enough to offer sustainability, financial sustainability. So we need guidance among the parents, the institutions like us, the partners and supporters for our youth, and that she also mentioned about being involved in the cooperative and also being part of an affluent program is really very beneficial for our youth and children because they are really guided and about financial scams and all those things. So let's give a round of applause to our first speaker for your courage for really taking the stage as our first speaker for today's first session. Let's move to our second speaker, all the way from Indonesia. Let's give a round of applause to Mr. Anjas Abdullah.
Thank you very much, Justin. Am I supposed to be standing here only? Can I just move? Okay. Okay, so first of all, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Anjas Abdullah, and basically I am a teacher for the upper secondary schoolers in Indonesia. So currently, recently I was just appointed to become the youth lead program coordinator of my province. Yeah, so this is like a new experience to me. And this is my first time coming to Manila, Philippines. And I am so glad that people are so nice here. Give a round of applause for everyone. I really appreciate that. Yeah, so I'm a little bit nervous because this is the most formal occasion that I have ever attended, and I am becoming the speaker right now to be standing to share why is learning financial education from early years crucial. Yeah, so here comes up like this kind of questions because I also got the experiences becoming like younger youth, right? Yeah, so I just turned 27 last year, and then this year I'm turning 28. Is it still youth? Yeah, I'm still considered as youth, right? Yeah, so I'm going to talk like a little bit about my experiences as well with my students. Okay, I'm gonna use this. Oh, it's not working? Not working. Okay. Get to the next slide, please. Okay, from my presentation here, what will you see? Next, please. Okay, you will get to see the benefits of learning financial education from early years. That's the first time that I'm going to emphasize in this presentation. And then the second one is the challenges young people face learning financial education. And the last one is the innovative ideas that I'm going to share with everyone in here about advancing financial education for children and young people. Can you imagine how wonderful it is to have a kid, yeah, to have a child that has the sense of financial literacy? They are aware how hard it is to earn money. Yeah, so by having like that kind of knowledge for them, they are going to be able to control themselves. Yeah, they are going to be avoided. They're going to be avoided from the scams, just like what everyone has been telling in this. I mean, like in this occasion, yeah, people have been mentioning about this, right? Yeah, so having this, the children who has like a big courage to control their budget, yeah, having like the children who are able to control their, like the youngsters, they tend to, okay, I see this advertisement from the TikTok, for example, and then like, for example, I'm going to take an example for myself. I am very interested in hairstyling, actually. I'm very interested in hairstyling. And when I see the any hair product, the hair vitamin, the hair straightener, and then I am also interested in any kind of like, like the newest one, so it's like the pomade. Yeah, it's the pomade, but it is not a pomade. Okay, so it's more like the powder, the hair powder. Yeah, and then when I see that kind of advertisement, I tend to want to buy it, even though I don't really need it. Yeah, so it's about how I am going to invest myself. Okay, go to the next slide, please. Okay, so the benefits that you could feel by giving the education to the students is that the early exposure to financial concepts that can lead to better money management skills in adulthood. And the second one is the long-term benefits such as financial independence, responsible spending, and saving habits. Having a kid who wants to save their money for emergencies, for example, or for something that they want to buy so that they don't need to propose to their parents by making the presentations, for example, why do I have to get Hot Wheels, for example? Yeah, the students now are really creative. I saw a lot of contents like that in TikTok. Yeah, and I believe that everyone also has like TikTok in here, right? TikTok is quite popular in Vietnam and in Philippines, in Vietnam, in Indonesia, Malaysia, and all around Southeast Asia countries. In Laos also, yeah, of course, Cambodia, yeah, it's quite a thing. Okay, but there are actually challenges that young people face learning financial education. The first one is the lack of access to resources or formal education on the subject. I don't know what is happening, like what is happening in the kind of like curriculum. There was no entrepreneurship subject. There was just like I used to teach only English, but currently I am becoming like the English teachers and like the entrepreneurship teacher. Yeah, ever since I joined Aflatin, yeah, I joined Aflatin and I become like the part of it. Yeah, I engage a lot in the activities for the Aflatin students. And the lack of access here is that the students do not know where to get this kind of financial literacy. They really have no clue on how they are going to budget their money, how they are going to invest their money, how they are going to control their desire. And then like the influence of consumer culture, the peer pressure, and social media on financial decisions, I cannot ignore that actually I am one of the kid that I was one of the kid that always wants to like to feel like I belong to a group. So my friends, they have iPhone. I use Samsung. And I really want to use iPhone too because I want to airdrop my photos with them. I want to get the airdrops of the photo that they use. That's really interesting thing, right? Yeah, but actually it is not about the function. When I just want to buy the phone, but it is not actually something that I really need. Yeah, so peer pressure is really a big thing when we are still very young. High schoolers. I believe that you have like the same issues with me right now. And then like the financial decisions too. Yeah. The social media on financial decisions. Social media, we tend to see how Kylie Jenner lives. We tend to see how Bretman Rock lives. One of the most famous Filipino, right? Yeah, Bretman Rock. I saw his life, and I really love to see the way like he's living with his chickens. That's really interesting, actually. And I also have like the influencers in Instagram that I follow. I really want to be like them. I really want to buy the same brand clothes. I want to have Gucci. I want to have, Dior, like the branded clothes and everything branded. Yeah, so it is really a challenge for the youngsters, for the young people to, in learning the financial literacy. Yeah, so the need for tailored approaches to engage and educate young people effectively is also a thing that the government should be the government should consider too. Yeah, because I don't see like any proper. I don't see any proper like the tailored approaches to engage and educate young people effectively. Yeah, but Aflatin Plus help us a lot. Yeah, they have the model. Yeah, they engage with many stakeholders, and they made like the best model that I have ever seen. Yeah, it is very very general that we can integrate it to our curriculum too. Okay, so the innovative ideas for advancing financial education for children and young people is that creative and engaging methods to teach financial literacy, such as gamifications, interactive apps, or workshop. Yeah, so Aflatin is one of the extracurricular activity in our school, but it has just been selected to become our school program. Yeah, so it's now like a big thing for our school. And then integrating financial education into school curriculums and community programs. Yeah, so the school now has been taught, I mean, like for the entrepreneurship teachers, we are thought to have several integration of the curriculum from the Aflatin Plus, Aflatin module, in our, I mean, like in our activity in the class. Yeah, so they provide like many things. And now they are developing the chatbots for the teachers when they are, you know, like when the teachers have no clue what they're going to have, because ideas is really expensive, right? Ideas is really expensive. So sometimes we just have no idea. Like when you use ChatGPT, yeah, when you use the ChatGPT, you will get like the proper ideas and yeah, more things like that is like you haven't thought about that before. Yeah, so they are developing chatbots right now, and it's going to be released after they I mean, like we were in the workshop and we give like some kind of advice. It's not real like so, but feedbacks. We have feedbacks on the chatbots. Like they didn't include like many languages, so it was just English. Yeah, so we advised them to add like the like the choices for language. And then the last one is partnership between financial institutions, educational institutions, and youth organizations to promote financial literacy initiatives. We work with the banks. Yeah, our school has been working with the banks specifically for the students of Aflatin. They now have the saving. They now have the savings with no fees for each month, and they will get the rewards when they save some amount of money. Yeah, so that's really interesting. Partnering with the local banks in our country. It is Bank Kalbar. Yeah, bye. Okay, it's Bank Kalbar. Yeah, Pak Suryadi know about this. Okay, and I think that he's going to talk about that as well. Yeah, so I think that is the little thing that I could share with you. Thank you very much, and have a good day, everyone. Salamat.
Thank you very much, and Jess, for sharing your journey about financial education among the youth, and it is time for sharing also the Aflatin Youth Program in your school in partnership with banks and other institutions. Convergence, teamwork makes the dream work for all our children and youth. Let's proceed to our last but not the least speaker for this first session. Let's give a big hand to Mr. Ernie Jancajas.
All right. Hello. Hello, everyone. I'm very thankful to be joining the room with you and be speaking in front of you. It is indeed a lot of pressure, despite our young age. And of course, we have our esteemed leaders. We have seasoned professionals right in front of us. And yet here we are talking in front of you. Yeah, so I'm really that boring, guys. So I'll just stay here. I don't even have a presentation. So Sophie mentioned what are the challenges and just shared the whys and the programs that they're doing in Indonesia to address financial literacy. Now, I'll be mainly sharing to you a concept. So I have 12 years of experience in the cooperative movement. And to be honest, that is cute when compared to the seasoned leaders and pillars of the movement. Mami being 36 years, that's thrice, so it's even older than me. And, oh my God, oh, well, the important is that I'm very happy because even if we have these seasoned leaders, they are listening, they are giving platforms for the youth, and they will listen to what we have to say. So let's give a round of applause to our leaders. because we want to encourage that. We want to have a platform where our youth can speak up because that will make us feel empowered. Okay? Now, the concept that I would be mainly sharing with you, I believe this will branch out to a lot of things. And that concept is gratification. Now, gratification is important because we grew up in a society where the desired behavior is rewarded. You know, gratification, it affects a lot in the development years of a child. Okay, it contributes to the development of self-control. Anyone remembers the marshmallow video? You know, where a child is put, and then the child is told, "Hey, don't touch this marshmallow until I'm back." Now, self-control. Gratification is a core in developing executive function skills, attention regulation, and working memory. It is also important in dealing with emotional regulation. Have you heard of impulsive buying? That, my friends, is a perfect example of instant gratification. Long-term health and well-being. No, I could go on about what could branch out from gratification, and we don't want this to be a boring psychology or motivation or rewards class. No, we don't want that. So I want to talk this to you because in reality, when we ask a 5 years old, you got money and what do you want to do with it? You want to buy a toy or you want to save it? What do you think? Buy a toy. Let's ask a 13-year-old. Would you rather play or study? Play. Let's ask a young adult. Would you rather build your emergency fund or buy the latest iPhone? Come on. Right? These are the questions. Now, let's ask our seasoned leaders. Would you advise building a retirement fund or splurging on things because basically deserve mo yun, di ba? Pinagtrabahuan mo, so you deserve to, splurge on things, reward yourself. And I'm not saying that it is wrong. It's not really a wrong answer, whatever you answer for those questions, because we need to put it into a context because there is always a right reward at the right time. Okay? And basically for me, gratification is the pillar of financial literacy. Because you save for rainy days, because you want to delay the gratification you want to delay it for a use in the future, right? Correct. Yes, correct. All right, so now you see where I'm getting, but now narrowing in, each generations have different tolerance of delayed gratifications. In today's fast and modern age, gratification tends to be instant. And that idea itself is being capitalized. What are the things that are instant? Instant noodles, instant coffee, instant loan, easy money, and that is where the danger comes in, right? If everyone is hooked in the idea of getting something in an instant, they will be vulnerable. They are vulnerable to scams. They are vulnerable to their impulses. They are vulnerable in being used. They are vulnerable in peer pressure. And all of these get-rich-quick scams. Even if these quick-rich scams use the same pattern throughout the history, a lot of people still fall, right? So yes, delayed gratification. Now, to embed the sense of delaying gratification in a person, it takes a lot of time. And that is where our institutions comes in. Sorry. So from the household, it should be a collective effort from the household, school, private and public communities, social enterprise, and the government. Now, I was introduced to savings by my mother. Now, just a little backstory. I grew up having bread as baon during classes. It's just bread and water, never cash. I grew up not handling cash. So I do not resent that kind of upbringing. And I will be forever thankful to my mother for that, because it pushed me hard. It made me creative on how to get money. I made deals with my parents that if I perform in my academics, I will get something. I pushed myself hard to join competitions because I get allowance if I join competitions, and if I win prize, bigger money, right? So we get creative if we are put in these situations that are challenging. Now, mind you, those rewards are not necessarily cash. Okay, it could be something, it could be a trip, it could be a bonding time. You need to figure that out. Now, during my high school, the cooperative enhanced my financial literacy because they made savings easy. They come to school, set up a booth, and accept deposits. Cooperative made savings fun and rewarding. They spearheaded events to bolster children's creativity and talent, and they made me understand three things. Number one, I need to put my money in a secured institution where my money is protected and somehow cope with inflation. Somehow. Now, we all know the interest rates going, but at least there's a little bit of protection with our buying power in that sense. Number two, you need to save something for the rainy days. Number three, and I think this is really important, cooperatives gave me something of claiming, of a feeling of claiming something that is my own. Because I have my deposit account, I can claim that as my own. I am accountable for that, and I can control that. Of course, to some extent, because we have our parents or guardians if ever we're underage. But that is very empowering in the lens of a child. Now, at this point in my high school years, there is a paradigm shift. If you recall, during my elementary years, the rewards are extrinsic. It came from the rewards that are given to me by my parents. But now, come high school, I am being provided with the platform of saving. I am being exposed. I am being made aware. Now, there is a paradigm shift. The motivator is not extrinsic anymore. It is intrinsic. It is something I want to do, even if I'm not told to. Now, I felt in love in that idea. I fell in love with finance, and I even ended up taking accountancy, aside from the practicality of the course and personal reasons. But cooperative is one of the reasons why I took up the course. I immersed myself in the movement, and the rest is history. Now, I am here in front of you saying that we need to pour collective effort in guiding our children, protect them and teach them, and that it is okay to delay gratification, and that hard work always pays off.
Thank you very much to our last but not the least speaker, Mr. Ernie, for sharing about delayed gratification. At the same time, it is very important to really have self-control at the early age, and at the same time, right reward for the right time. There are a lot of challenges about financial education at the early age, so we really have to include our children, our youth, to be part of financial literacy and make them part of a bigger movement, cooperative movement, and other movements that we do have with regards to financial literacy among our youth. So we extend our sincerest gratitude to our three young speakers for their enlightening insights and the challenges and ideas surrounding financial literacy from the perspective of the youth. Your experiences and perspectives have reached your understanding and inspired us all to strive for a greater financial empowerment. Now, we invite everyone to open the floor for questions and answers. Please feel free to share insights, reflections with our esteemed speakers. And we would like to request, please make your questions short because we don't have the luxury of time. We can entertain at least 2 questions Are there anyone would like, brave souls would like to have some questions to our speakers? Okay, so this time allow me, as your moderator, young at heart and still below 35 years old, still belong to the youth, to ask some questions. Okay, so here are some questions that we'd like to, here are some of my questions I'd like to ask to our speakers. What are the role of the parents and guardians play in supporting financial literacy development of their children, and how can we empower them to do so effectively? What are the role of parents and guardians play in supporting financial literacy development of our children, and how can we empower them to do so effectively? Because there are a lot of parents here, so we were going to ask our youth their advices. How are we going to guide our children?
I'll take a snap at this one first. So the role of the parents is very crucial because basically children will grow according to their environment. And parents are there to foster or to create that environment that will nurture and that will build the child's values. And that at a very young age is very crucial. Having a mother figure, having a father figure, or having, let's say in general, a leader figure that he or the child will emulate as he or she will grow.
Oh, thank you very much, Ernie, for that wonderful answer. So in short, as parents, we have to become role models among our children. If we were going to teach them about savings, we have to show to our children that we are also doing savings. Okay, so let's proceed. Last question. In your experience, what are the role, because we are in the digitalization world nowadays, so what modern world, so what the role do digital tools and technology play in enhancing financial literacy initiatives for the youth? I repeat, in your experience, what role do digital tools and technology play in enhancing financial literacy initiatives for the youth? Anyone from the speakers?
Okay, thank you for that question, Ms. Justin. First, I'd like to add to the answer of Sir Ernie a while ago regarding the role of the adults or the parents. Those who are part of initiatives here or leaders here who are looking into courting kids, children or youth in terms of saving habits and other financial related habits that can empower them. Let's remember that it should not only be the kids that we should be teaching. We should also be teaching their parents. We should involve them. And for example, in schools, if you go to the classrooms and teach the kids about your financial products and teach them about financial literacy related matters, you also teach the teachers. And then you teach the parents, because when they go home, the students, when they go home, at least the things that they are learning in the school, it's the same that they learn in their classrooms. And for the question regarding the role of as I've mentioned a while ago, the digital platforms are double-edged sword in our financial landscape today. Honestly, I was about to talk in Filipino. My apologies. Me, as a part of the Generation Z, I'm more on the positive side of using digital platforms in terms of managing financial related matters, because again, the ease of access, that's one of the most important things. But then again, there are risks, and I think that what we should be teaching to the kids or the users of technology is that using digital payment platforms or digital tools is not just about the ease of access. We should always be accountable. We should always be responsible.
it's not just about getting instant money because there are now digital apps that can, instead of we go to banks or we go to other financial institutions to get money, we can just do it in one click. So we should not just teach about that. It's not just about the ease of access. We should also teach them about the responsibility that comes along with it.
Thank you very much, Sophie, for the emphasis about correct use of the digital platforms. At the same time, we should also be, as institutions who are also into financial literacy among youth, we also have to teach the parents at the same time, the teachers also. So this time, we'd like to request our speakers, before we conclude our first session, we request each of our speakers to share a brief closing statement with us, some reflections and concluding message for all our audience.
Okay, this is the last statement, right? Okay, so because I haven't prepared anything for the last statement actually, but Filipinos gave me like such a good impression. It was like such a great impression. I think that Filipinos are the most friendly people, around the world, I think. Yeah, because like it's really easy for me to ask anyone. This is my first time going abroad, coming to Philippines, and I asked everyone at the airport. I asked them where to buy the SIM card. I asked them like how to order the taxi. What's the most used apps for transportation? They recommend me Grabs, something like that, and where this office is. And I asked everyone by myself. I didn't expect it to be like this smooth, because like I was alone. I was really alone, and like by participating in this collaborative event, yeah, I feel such an honor to be standing in front of great people, amazing people. I believe that you guys are the best. Yeah, you guys are the best, and I could see that my friends here, my new friends, yeah, they're also like very great people. In the future, yeah, I hope that we will make impacts for the children. So our future, because our future generation is the one who will continue. I'm like this word, especially like for themselves individually, and like they could give the impacts as well for the world. Thank you very much. That's from me.
I'll give the closing statement next. A mentor and mentor relationship is always a two-way street. Okay, this is a message for the youth and of course for our leaders. The mentor should be someone who is willing to expend not just money but of course time, effort, and everything. And a mentee should be someone who is willing to absorb. Okay, the seasoned leaders, yes, you have a lot of wisdom, and then the youth needs that. But times are changing. You need the ideas from the youth, and you need their energy. That's all.
I'd like to take this opportunity to thank our seasoned leaders, as mentioned by Sir Ernie, for lending your ears, for listening to the youth, and for investing your time and energy to come into these type of events. Because everything is a choice. You have the choice to go to this type of events, to invest your knowledge, to listen to the youth, and you can choose to not go because you have other priorities. Other leaders here, they are advocates of not just youth development, but other types of advocacies as well. But then you are all here to listen and maybe also share your best practices to each other. Before a while ago when I arrived, when I saw the number of attendees, I wasn't that nervous at all, to be honest. But then when I learned the positions, the roles, and the name of the organizations where the participants are coming from, I started to get nervous because different organizations, of course, there are different beliefs, right? But then it's great that we are all coming together through this Global Money Week. We are all coming together to discuss the same issues of the youth and hopefully discuss the same solutions by the end of this day. That's all for me. Again, thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you very much. Let's give a big round of applause to all our young speakers for our first session. As we wrap up this insightful session, we'll reflect on the invaluable insights shared by youth leaders regarding financial literacy, challenges, and ideas. Our participants have not only enhanced their financial awareness and skills, also cultivated leadership abilities. Their stories have been nothing short of inspiring, serving as a testament to the power of youth empowerment and education in shaping a brighter financial future. As we look forward to further discussions and collaborations, let us continue to support and amplify the voice of our youth in driving purpose, change in financial literacy worldwide. We also would like to thank and congratulate our seasoned leaders for investing among our youth. Let's give ourselves a round of applause. We thank our NATCO CEO, CEO Ibing Paragoy. We have here our CEOs of ACU, Ma'am Lani, and the rest of the leaders who are here. Thank you on behalf of the youth for your investment to us and for letting us allowing us the opportunity to share our insights about financial literacy. Thank you once again to our speakers and to all our participants for engagement and commitment to this vital cause, because together we can make a difference. We, the youth, are not the leaders of the future. We are the leaders of today. Thank you once again.
Wow, that was such a filled fun and energy filled session, definitely, Ernie. Thank you so much to our resource speakers and of course to our moderator, Miss Justine, for moderating this first session of the day and to present our certificate of appreciation to our speakers and moderator, and also to give the token of appreciation as well. May I call on our friends from Visa. And of course, we would like also to invite the board of Aflatun, Ms. Sylvia Paraguya and Pat Sianlo, Vice President, Inclusive and Impact Sustainability, Visa Worldwide, to award the certificate of appreciation as well as the tokens. We would like also to call our partner, of course, co-organizer in this event from the Cooperative Development Authority, Assistant Secretary Luzarinko, to present the certificate of appreciation. Yes, and we will have a group photo.
Stay daw po.
Now we will move to the next session where we will talk about protecting people's money and their financial future. In this session, we will be joined by the esteemed speakers who will share with us their experiences and insights about money protection and building a secure financial future. The session will be moderated by Ms. Lizette O. Antonio, Bank Officer 4 of the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. Let's give a big hand to Ms. Lizette O. Antonio.
Thank you very much, Ms. Lasalet. Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Good morning, everyone. Ako po si Lizette Antonio. I am from the Economic and Financial Learning Office of Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, and it is my privilege to moderate this session this morning. So earlier, we heard from our members of the youth. So this next panel is actually a good bridge for our sessions in the afternoon, where best practices among practitioners will be shared. So for this particular panel, we will be talking to both the youth representative from the youth and from the policymakers and the private sector. So are you guys ready? Okay, you don't sound really ready, okay? So let me try that one more time. Are you guys ready? All right, thank you very much for that energy. So that first plenary, we learned that our youth not only gain their financial awareness and skills, but also develop leadership skills through the youth committee system of NATCO. So it's nice to see them talking here in front and being very excited to share their thoughts. So that was an insightful and inspiring sharing. And for this session, the next hour, our objectives are basically to discuss together with the young people and our policymakers on how to protect people's money and how to protect it from financial scams and fraud. And also hear about ideas and innovation from our policymakers and practitioners on how they promote protection of our money, the consumer's money, and preventing fraud and scam. To help us achieve those objectives, we have 4 speakers this morning to share their expertise, their perspectives, and their experiences. So each of our speakers will be given around 5 to 10 minutes each to present about our theme and topic, after which we will have a discussion and a Q&A. So please prepare your questions earlier, okay? So we want to squeeze in as much questions as we can. So also those who are watching us online, please do submit your questions, and our volunteers here will make sure that the questions get to us here on stage, all right? So let's get to know our speakers. Our first speaker is a young saver and leader. She has been an active Aflatoon member of Most Holy Rosary Multipurpose Cooperative in Rizal, Philippines, since she was 9 years old. Now she's a senior high student from San Jose Litec Senior High School. Please welcome Aquila de la Cruz. Joining Aquila in our panel is a BOD member of Tagun Cooperative, one of the biggest cooperatives in Mindanao. He is also the chief of the Curriculum Implementation Division of DepEd Davao del Norte, as well as an Aflatoon Master Trainer. Please give a big hand to Dr. Edward Amogis. Good morning, sir. Our third speaker is the Chief Executive Officer of the Association of Asia Confederation Credit Union based in Bangkok, Thailand. ACU works in partnership with its members to strengthen and promote credit unions as effective instruments of socio-economic development of the people. A big round of applause, please, to Ms. Elenita Sanroque. Good morning, Ma'am Lenny. And our fourth speaker is the director of the Economic and Financial Learning Office, Financial Inclusion and Consumer Empowerment Subsector of the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. EFLO promotes awareness of key economic and financial concepts and issues. The office aims to develop a well-informed public literate in basic economic and financial concepts. Please say hello to my boss, Director Marian Santos. Okay, good morning to our panelists. I can see your big smiles and I think you're all excited to share your thoughts already. So I am reminding you that you are given around 5, maximum maybe 7 minutes for your presentation to give us some time to answer questions later on. So please, let's start with our first speaker, Aquila.
To our distinguished guests, supporters, participants, and to our online viewers, a pleasant morning. Before I start, I would like to thank our Almighty God for all the blessings that He has bestowed upon us and for giving us this day. It is such a great honor to be standing here before you and share my experiences to all of you in this Global Money Week 2024. Again, my name is Aquila Julia M. De La Cruz, 16 years old from Most Holy Rosary Multipurpose Cooperative. Today, I am excited to talk about how we can protect our money from financial scams and frauds. And also, I'll be tackling the little ways we can do to keep our money safe. And also, just a little disclaimer, all the points I'll be sharing with you today are based on my experiences as a youth saver. So, let's proceed. Okay. The first one is early savings. So, to give you more background about my journey, how I ended up in this prestigious gathering, I want to ask you a little favor of kindly remembering the word save. It plays a crucial role at this moment. So, my 9-year-old self perceived the idea of saving as keeping money away from charming shops, candy stores, and ice cream parlors. I thought it was that easy, but not until puberty hit and I started to grow physically and mentally. I discovered more about myself and many ideas rushed into my mind. I was overwhelmed by the fact that saving gets difficult sometimes when you are improving too. There were times when I experienced challenges and several external factors thrown at me, and I would just be surprised because I wasn't expecting those at all. And those moments made me think that saving gets much tougher, especially when there is nothing to help and you have no idea how to do it properly. Well, this didn't last long after I got exposed to this program called the Aflatun program. The Aflatun program was introduced to our school when I was in 5th grade, and I can still remember the date this program came to our school. It was November 2017. And since then, my habit of savings has been ignited. I can still vividly remember how I told my mother I wanted to join the program so I would be able to save from my daily allowance. And when I told her, she immediately agreed right away. And at that moment, that was the start of me learning more about the value of saving money, especially at a very young age. Before, when I was in elementary, what I do is I set aside an amount every day from my daily allowance. And weekly, I would deposit it into my Aflatun savings account. It may be a small amount, but I believe if it is done consistently, the savings will get bigger eventually. And also, if you will compare it to a regular bank, the interest is relatively higher. But now that I am already a senior high school student, which means more work, a hectic schedule, and a lot of school activities, what I do to still make sure that this saving habit of mine will never die is I keep an alcansya, or in English, piggy banks, so that each day I get to shoot a few coins in there. So you see, having an Aflatun savings account can help us learn the value of money. And aside from the savings account, Aflatun teaches us to be empowered children, young citizens who are compassionate, resourceful, happy, and confident. Furthermore, this program introduces us to the fun ways to save, to plan, budget, and be creative, which I think are all essential when you are starting to save. Okay, so that's for the first one. The next one is through finance lessons in class, our teachers inspire us to dream, plan, and work hard to achieve financial stability and security. So concepts of entrepreneurship, interest and dividend, and businesses are also being discussed in our curriculum. Lessons on how to protect oneself from internet threats are also being discussed to us. So in the curriculum for senior high school students, we have subjects like general mathematics and empowerment technologies. And in these two subjects, they cover lessons to understand the interest, bonds, stocks, and dividends, which I think gives us more knowledge about how we can handle our money safely and also use it effectively and efficiently. Moreover, it also teaches us how to be an attentive internet user, enough to spot scams, illegitimate financial offers. Lastly, next slide, please. Financial education and application. So, as one of the Aflatun members, I can tell that through NATCO and Most Holy Rosary Multipurpose Cooperative, I have gained so much knowledge involving money and savings. The NATCO and MHR MPC provide programs and activities to educate the youth about financial wellness, such as webinar series, the NATCO National Youth Congress, which I participated in just last year, together with Sir Ernie and Ma'am Sophie. And also, they also do entrepreneurship trainings and others. So these are a great help, especially to youth, since they can become more empowered, aware, and financially educated. In our cooperative, in Most Holy Rosary Multipurpose Cooperative, we also encourage programs. We also encourage the youth in agriculture, in agribusinesses. We also have programs like Youth Micro Entrepreneur, Mental Health Awareness Program for the youths, and others. So through these programs, we always make sure to include fun activities and programs for the youth so that the interest of the youth in becoming more active when it comes to saving will never die. So, in conclusion, by saving early, making wise financial decisions, and educating ourselves, we can protect our money from financial scams and frauds. Also, just to make our lives more financially secure. Also, before I end this presentation, I want to encourage everyone in this room and each other to protect our money and secure our financial futures. Again, thank you, NATCO, MHR, MPC, Visa, and all the rest who become part of this event, and those who joined me today. Again, mabuhay po sa ating lahat. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Aquila. It is such a joy to hear very young person like Aquila sharing about all of these knowledge and experience as if she's already like, I don't know, 56. I'm not sure, but she's like spouting things like stocks, and which I'm only recently trying to invest in, and I am 40. So I'm very happy to hear about your experience. Thank you so much for sharing all of that, Aquila, and we'll talk to you more later on. So our second speaker for this morning's second panel, may we please hear from Dr. Edward Amogis.
A pleasant day to everyone. Our main focus for this Global Money Week celebration will be on the protection, or how can we protect people's money and secure our financial future. During my presentation, I will also discuss Aflatun program of Tagum Cooperative, which aims to integrate financial education. I believe that by equipping our youth with financial knowledge and skills, we can empower them to inform decisions and build a better future for themselves. Here are the concepts of money and money protection integrated in the DepEd curriculum. In the Department of Education, the concepts of money and money protection, please slide, are integrated through various lessons and subjects to promote financial literacy and responsible financial management. So we had examples, the Afla Youth curriculum guide. We're able to translate it to integration guide so that our teachers will not have enough time to make lesson plans. So in the cooperative, we already have ready-made lesson guide for our teachers. The DepEd Learning portal offers resources in managing finances, which includes topics such as budgeting, saving, and investing. These lessons aims to teach our students how to handle their money wisely and protect it from financial risks. DepEd order We want you to know the Afla Youth Program of Tagum Cooperative in partnership with DepEd. The successful implementation of the Afla Youth Program requires a collaborative agreement between the cooperative and the school. Therefore, it is essential for both parties to reach a consensus before proceeding with any initiatives. This memorandum of agreement serves a testament to the dedication and cooperation of all involved parties. Fostering rapport is a cornerstone of our approach, underscored by our commitment to maintaining strong connections with the school authorities. Tagum Cooperative Youth Laboratory convenes a quarterly meeting with all our teacher coordinators gathered to meticulously evaluate the effectiveness of the program. The collaborative forum allows us to delve into a comprehensive assessment, share insights, and strategize for further enhancement of our educational initiatives. Then we will also be giving updates because this will provide a comprehensive update to the school community regarding the current status of the school implementation of the program. Then we will also be monitoring the implementation of the Aplaton integration. So this seamless integration of the AFLA Youth Program within the subject curriculum is paramount to its success. This involves closely observing how the program components are interwoven into the existing framework, assessing its impact on student engagement and learning outcomes, and proactively addressing any challenges or opportunities that arise by maintaining a proactive program effectively enriches the subject curriculum, providing students with valuable insights and experiences. So why does being a member of a co-op laboratory helps young people practice their learning from the curriculum? So in the next slide, being a member of the cooperative, this will provide young people with a supportive and practical learning environment. It allows them to bridge the gap between the theory and practice, develop essential skills, and gain valuable experiences that can contribute to personal and professional growth. Participating in a laboratory cooperative offers a tangible and invaluable real-world application for young learners to apply and reinforce their academic learnings. By participating in laboratory co-ops, young individuals gain valuable skills and experiences that prepare them for future academic pursuits. Then hands-on experience. The hands-on nature of laboratory cooperative tends to increase young people's engagement and motivation as they have the opportunity to see the practical relevance, what they learn in the curriculum. In the next slide, how safe is the money of the children when deposited in the co-op? When it comes to depositing money in a cooperative, the safety of children's money is our top priority. Tagum Cooperative is a financial institution that are regulated and supervised by relevant authorities, which help ensure the safety of deposited funds. Tagum Coop is now 14.5 billion pesos asset, a net surplus of 1.3 billion pesos with no external borrowings. With 171,000 members and 70,000 youth members with 173 million pesos savings deposits. Here are some reasons why the money of our children is generally considered safe when deposited in the youth laboratory cooperatives. First, we choose a very dependable teacher coordinators in the Department of Education. Internal controls and procedures serve as the backbone of organizational integrity and efficiency, fortifying the operational framework against risks and uncertainties. By fostering a culture of diligence, responsibility, strong internal controls and procedures empower entities to mitigate potential threats, detect irregularities promptly, and uphold the highest standards of governance and operational excellence. With adherence to regulatory guidelines, ensure the safety and security of children's funds deposited in the cooperative providing peace of mind to parents and guardians. Then we also have trusted youth program coordinators. While Tagum Cooperative generally prioritize the safety of deposited funds, it's important for our children and their parents to research and choose a reputable and well-established cooperatives, regulatory compliance, financial stability before depositing their money. It is also advisable to regularly monitor the account and stay informed about any changes and updates from the cooperative. And the next slide, there are activities of the co-op that increases the knowledge and awareness of the members when it comes to scams and frauds. No? First, we have heard the Tagum Co-op Youth Financial Education Workshop. Then we also have educated in terms of financial scams and frauds. Tagum Co-op Youth Laboratory did not fail to remind the members and their parents to secure their PINs, their passwords, signatures, or any documents that could any person use for scams and frauds. And the next slide, emphasizing the values behind savings and growing money is crucial to help members avoid falling get-rich-quick schemes and other scams. Here are some strategies to emphasize these values and promote financial literacy within the cooperative. First, providing comprehensive financial literacy programs, instilling the value of patience and perseverance in financial growth, then sharing life examples of individuals who have achieved financial security. And the next slide, these are the activities that we initiated to promote financial literacy and financial well-being of our young members. First, specialized accounts with incentives, financial literacy training and webinars, and we also have Tagum Cooperative mobile application. To open up a better road to the future of young members and communities, we are building partnerships between educational institutions and sponsoring organizations to open up a new pathways for growth and success. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Amogi. So you can see how things or programs that the youth like Aquila are availing of. And you hear about how our partners from the sector, from the industry themselves are doing this, or how they are planning for and providing all of these initiatives for them to be able to access and to be able to take advantage of. So aside from those that were discussed by Dr. Amogis, they were all great, by the way, sir. And I hope, or I think I can safely assume that most, if not all, of our cooperatives are sharing similar programs and other platforms that our youth are able to access as well. So for this time, we will hear from our third speaker. Please help me welcome in front, Ma'am Lenny San Roque.
Thank you very much. Good morning, good afternoon. Good afternoon also to the virtual participants. And I am very much privileged and happy to be part of this event. This is my first time in the Global Week, Global Money Week. Well, it looks like as if we are marketing cooperative in this event, but I know that there are other institutions who are also participating in this event. Do not think that we are marketing cooperative. Definitely, if you ask us to talk about cooperative, we are very biased with cooperative. Being the third speaker in this forum seems to be like properly planned, because what I am going to talk is to summarize what Aquila and Doc Ed have already mentioned. Because what I am going to talk about is why credit union is really promoting savings. This is in our DNA, because credit unions and financial cooperatives has been here for the more than 170 years ago. Credit unions' teaching is that we will improve the lives of the people with only two values and principles. That is the habit of thrift and diligence. The reason This is a very important principle that cooperative is promoting, which is self-help. Self-help is taking personal responsibility and initiative to improve one's circumstances, well-being, and overall quality of life. If our young people understand that they have to take care of themselves, it's going to be a resilient and sustainable life values that they can adopt in their lives. Okay, next slide, please. Because of that self-help, I think the young generation will dream. Young generation will be able to understand, I need to have a money in times of emergency. Young people will understand, I do not need to rely on debt to sustain and build my future. Definitely, I need loan, I need to get credit, but that credit is not to support your lifestyle. That credit is to build your future. That credit is to be able to build your home. That credit should be able to give you additional income streams, not only relying on their employment. That we as how do you call that, seniors, or we or we who are seasoned leaders of the cooperative should be able to provide this foundation to the young generation, because it is not just merely telling them you save. You save for a certain reason. You save to create multiple income streams. You save to have a better well-being. And this is very important for the young generation to understand. I think we as young generation should be able to create a generational wealth. Generational wealth is not only passing the assets. Generational wealth is also passing the values and principles on how do we manage the money. I have experienced that when I was growing up as a kid in the Philippines. Actually, I am living now in Thailand for the last 30 years. But generational wealth is very important for us to teach the young generation, because when I was growing up, when I was in the elementary school, I really envy my classmates because they were growing in a rich family. But because their parents were not able to teach them that foundation that they can pass on to the generation, I am very pity to see them that they are no longer that affluent in their lives, because their parents were not able to tell them these are the foundation for us to be able to sustain in this world. Okay, so the last one is, of course, we need to have a better future because of this COVID-19. Everyone need to have insurance. And the most important example there is the health insurance. I know I am here in the Philippines for the last now 25 days. My mother is aging and she's in and out of the hospital. Today, when you do not have health insurance, it looks like a taxi when you are entering in the hospital. So you never know how much will be the recurring bills when you are in the hospital. And this is very important for the young generation also to prepare their lives, in their lives. Now, we are talking about scams, but are we really looking at young generation having that money because they are still starting? So I think in the credit union, it's in our DNA that we are asking them to save and prepare for the future. And what we can assure you is that the credit union is ready and prepared for us to take care of the hard-earned money of our members. And infrastructure or the framework for which the credit unions is ensuring that our savings that we mobilize from our members is protected. Can we go to the next slide? First of all, credit union is a member-owned institution, and every decision that we make in the credit union, we ensure that this is to the best benefit of our members who are users of the credit union, both users and owners of credit union. We also have to ensure our financial stability. Credit union is using financial standards and financial disciplines to ensure that we are safe and sound institution. Credit union, cooperatives, not only in the Philippines and all over the world, we have risk-based supervision and we have a safety net we call stabilization fund because we want to ensure that no credit union will close shop because we are taking care of public money. Credit unions is very good in education. The success of credit unions is about education. When you ask us the reason of our success, it's only three: education, education, and education. So financial education, it's not only education, but it's also an institutionalized financial wellness program is deployed in the credit union. We have ethical practices, so the board of directors definitely will follow our good governance practices and tools that we deploy in the credit union. And the most important thing, credit union has a community focus because we are not motivated with profit. Our motivation is to improve the lives of the people. So you can trust and you can put your money in the credit union. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Lenny, for that integration of our previous speakers' experiences and sharing. We'd like to hear from the supervisor and the regulator, I guess, from the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. Please welcome Director Marian Santos.
Good morning, everyone. Actually, Ms. Lenny has mentioned that the panelists are very much aligned with each other, and we have different roles in the society. First, our youth, the cooperative movement, as well as the NATCO, we're in the credit unions. So who provides the credit for particularly the youth. So good morning again. I would like to thank Alpha Tune International, Visa, National Confederation of Cooperatives, NATCO, and Cooperative Development Authority for organizing this important event for the children and the youth. And thank you for inviting BSP to be part of this Global Money Week celebration. So my presentation will be on key information. I hope you will be able to get something from my presentation on tackling fraud and scams. So I'll just be brief, so bear with me. So next slide, please. So in this slide, I can see, so I'll be looking at my iPad. So let me share some of the results of the BSP 2021 Financial Inclusion Survey with focus on financial literacy and inclusion among the youth. So results show that many still Filipinos have limited understanding of basic financial literacy concepts, such as those enumerated in the slide. Let me enumerate it. It's inflation, simple and compound interest, division, portfolio diversification, and investment risks. Generally, only 2% of Filipinos were able to answer all these questions correctly in the survey, and at least half of these questions were correctly answered by 69%. So zooming in on the specific results for our young people, so let me just show you in the slide that more than half of the respondents aged 15 to 19 years old were able to correctly answer at least half of these financial basic concepts. And 69% belonging to the 20 to 29 age group have done the same. On account ownership, 27%, or almost 3 out of 10 Filipinos aged 15 to 19 have an account, and 23% of these young people have e-money accounts. On the other hand, 61% of young people who are 20 to 29 years old, which are likely composed of college students and young professionals, have formal accounts, and e-money is still the most popular with 47%. Hence, in terms of financial literacy and financial inclusion landscape in the Philippines, the youth presents big potential since this generation is composed of tech-savvy natives. So as you can see in the slide, there's high percentage of electronic device ownership as well as internet usage. So next slide, please. So, but however, fraudsters and scammers have become more creative and sophisticated in their attempts to gain access to our personal information as well as our financial accounts. In fact, based on the same survey, 1 in 10 young Filipinos have experienced losing money due to scams. So these popular scams encountered by Filipinos include lottery, phishing, as well as investment scams. So we also provide some of the common fraud and scams encountered by Filipino consumers. So these are enumerated in the slide. I will not go through them. So you just read on. And I would just like to remind everyone that scammers are experts in manipulation. And they will spend time earning your trust until you provide them and you lose your guard and provide them your account information, your personal information. So I suggest and I enjoin everyone to have these 3 words in mind. I hope that after this session, this will be the one that you will bring home. So think, that's the first word. The second would be to examine. And the third would be to study all your financial transactions to avoid these frauds and scams. So again, I'll repeat, think, examine, and study. All right. Next slide, please. So to set in place appropriate mechanisms to protect consumers of financial products and services, the Financial Consumer Protection Act, or the FCPA, was signed into law on June 3, 2022. This is in accordance with the principles of transparency, fair and sound market conduct, as well as fair, reasonable, and effective handling of financial consumer disputes, which are aligned with global standards. So for a quick overview of the law, it is important to remember that it is enshrined the following consumer rights as well as financial service provider responsibilities. So I would just like to enumerate so you to listen, sometimes you have to listen and so you can remember. So first, rights as well as responsibilities of our financial service providers would be equitable and fair treatment for all. So always remember these rights and these responsibilities. Second would be the disclosure and transparency of financial products and services. Third would be the protection of consumer assets against fraud and misuse. Fourth, data privacy and protection. And lastly, timely handling and redress of complaints. So these are the very important provisions in the FCPA, wherein I think you need to understand and remember all the time, especially when you experience fraud and scams. And the FCPA also strengthens the following powers and authorities of financial regulations like the BSP. So first, we have the Consumer Protection Rulemaking, wherein we are provided that authority to formulate our policies and regulations for the protection of our consumers. So next would be the market conduct on-site and off-site supervision and examination, market surveillance and monitoring, provision of redress, including adjudication, enforcement of actions, and sanctions and penalties. So these are the 6 powers provided for financial regulators like the BSP for us to be able to protect all financial consumers against these frauds and scams. So next slide, please. So in line with this legislation, this is very important. So the BSP has established various consumer assistance mechanisms, or CAM, should your BSP supervised institutions fail to meet your expectations in addressing your concerns for any complaints or frauds and scams, you may lodge a complaint via the traditional channels enumerated here in the slide, as well as in our BSP online body, or what we call BOB, through the BSP website as well as the Facebook page. So if first, I would like to note again that before you go to the CAM channels, you have first to report to your financial BSP supervised institutions before we can cater to your complaints and needs. So of course, they're the direct institution wherein you can complain because the experience was based from their service. So after that, then you can, BSP will come in and you can go to the various channels provided here in the slide. Next slide, please. But first of all, what are the BSP supervised institutions? Under the BSP Circular number 1169, or the Rule of Procedure for the BSP CAM, Mediation and Adjudication, identified the list of BSIs or BSP supervised institutions as shown in the table, as shown in the slide. So I think everyone's familiar with the commercial banks. So there are, it includes digital banks, thrift banks, and the rest. But I would like to highlight that there are e-money issuers. So these will be BSP supervised institutions, virtual asset service providers, non-stock savings and loans associations, and the rest. So if the complaints cater to these or came from these institutions, then you can go to BSP and file your complaint. All right, next slide, please. But let me note that there are financial institutions that are not under the purview of the BSP. So what are those? So not all financial institutions are BSP supervised. So in this slide, you can see that there are 4 government agencies wherein, and under the logos are the companies under their purview. So for the Cooperative Development Authority, they're regulating savings and credit cooperatives. So for DTI, if you have complaints on consumer products and services. For the Insurance Commission, so of course, the insurance companies, the pre-need, and cooperative insurance societies, these are under their purview. And for the Securities and Exchange Commission, I think a lot of you have experienced fraud and scams under the investment houses, lending companies, as well as finance companies. But these are not from BSP regulated. So you should go to the SEC for any complaints that you have. We've provided the contact details or the email of each of these government agencies for you to have access and for any fraud scams that you've experienced. Next slide, please. So for my last slide, I would just like to provide some key takeaways so that after this session, you will be able to remember these 4 key items. So first would be the youth has great potential to be financially included. However, they are also prone and exposed to cyber attacks. So please, again, the 3 words, what again? All right, thank you. So please remember that. So when you go home, also tell your family and friends so they'll be, empowered and to know what to do before providing any information to anyone. So the next key takeaway would be that digital financial literacy is a core life skill regardless of age. So it's very important to everyone. And the third key takeaway would be it is crucial to understand your rights as a financial consumer. So what I've presented a while ago, you have to know your rights. So to where you will file your complaint for any fraud and scam that you've experienced, so that you will know how to deal with it. So it's not just you alone. So you can go to the regulators and of course the financial institution. And lastly, again, I would like to remind everyone that we have this BSP online body or BOB, which is ready to assist your financial concerns regarding BSP supervised institutions. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Miss Marian. So from the personal experience of our resident youth representative to all the way to the macro level that Miss Marian has presented to us, we have seen the entire industry landscape as to what is happening and what is everyone doing about it. So it's your turn now to ask the question, and don't avert your eyes from me because I will call you. Especially Akila's friends over there. I'm looking at you for your questions because we'd like to open the floor now for any questions that everyone on the floor may have. Okay, so I think we have a question. Okay.
Salamat pong muli. I'd like to ask this question to Ma'am Santos. Ma'am, I hope you don't mind me asking this. How far has the BSP succeeded in prosecuting scammers with the help of the judiciary, of course? Thank you.
Can I just... Hello? Can I just be seated? Yeah, okay, thank you. Actually, it's not the department who does that, who monitors it. But yeah, so there are a lot of complaints that we have received. Just last year, we have thousands. And I think majority of it, like 95% has been closed, meaning it has been, yes, we've provided some assistance and the consumers are happy. And small part of it are forwarded to our mediation and adjudication, wherein BSP lawyers will be the one to provide some assistance with the BSP supervised institution. So we can mediate, yes, for both parties, the consumer as well as the institution. So I think that I cannot provide numbers, but majority has been closed. Yes, thank you.
Director Marian, we have another question from the floor. Yes, please go ahead.
So thank you very much. I just want to, can I be seated? Okay. I just want to ask a question to Akila.
Hello.
It's, it's amazing to hear your story and your saving journey. But I also believe that you heard from our college, Sophia, saying that, saving is not that enough. And I believe it is true that saving is not enough. From your experience as an amazing saver, what else do you think that you need as a youth?
Thank you for that question. Hello. Thank you for that question. Oh no. Sorry po. Thank you for that question, ma'am. So, as a youth saver, of course, you have mentioned that savings is not always enough. So, what I do to actually help me and my family to at least be still financially educated is, of course, I do sustainable things like if I can walk, I will walk. And because my school, to tell you honestly, my school is, I can walk from my house to my school. And if I can do that, I will do that just to save money because we have this term in Philippines, kuripot. So ever since I was a child, I was raised as one being kuripot po talaga. So ever since until now, I have that mindset with me na if I can keep things thrifty, if I can save things as much as I can, I will do it. Because if things are not necessary at all, then I will not buy it or I will not indulge to those activities that will get more money from me instead of giving more benefits to me. I hope I answered your question po.
Thank you, Akila. So from saving to extending it to other practices in other areas of your life, like being sustainable. And as Ma'am Lenny uh, emphasized earlier, it's the habit of thrift that is also very important to instill in our youth. So we're very happy that you are like one living example that is amazing. And but we have to also understand that not everyone can be very consistent as you are. So we'd just like to encourage everyone to also start that habit and to also practice all of that and take them all to heart. I'd like to direct discussion to Doc Ed before we let ma'am ask her question. Doc Ed kasi, sorry, I'm speaking in Filipino, okay? For the benefit of those who are watching online, we'll switch to English. Doc Ed, in your presentation earlier, you talked about bridging theory, like from the DepEd curriculum lesson plans to practice, like having your students or having the members of the cooperative apply those theories into practice. In your vast experience, can you highlight for us like one key lesson that is very important to practice?
Okay. Hello, Mike. Now, the afternoon curriculum, we have the books now then. We let our teachers integrate that into their lesson. So as much as possible across all learning areas. Then it's very hard for the teacher to just make the lesson plan, integrating that in their lesson. But what we did is we have a workshop with our teachers and convert lesson to the lesson guide of our learners, so, of our teachers, so that every time when the teach that to the learners based on the learning competency of DepEd and align it with the curriculum of the Aflaton, so it's very easy for them to teach the learners. So because our teachers do not have extra salary for the Aflaton or the Aflayot lesson to be integrated in their curriculum. That our product there is just what's the values that our learners have gained out of the integration, because we cannot see the effect, right away, but later our learners will realize that when they save, they were able to earn this much. So 173 million pesos from among our learners with just a piso per day for their savings deposit. That's a big contribution for them in their future.
Very inspiring, from 1 peso to 173 million. I think we have this time for one last question. Go ahead, please.
Good morning, ma'am. My question is for Miss Marian. In your presentation, ma'am, um, there was a slide saying that on account ownership, for the 15 to 19 years old, we have 27%, and for the 20 to 29 years old, we have 61%. My question, ma'am, is are the savers from the cooperatives included in the survey? Or so let me rephrase that. Did the survey questions include cooperatives as one channel of savings for this? And for the second question, because cooperatives also accept savings from those children even below 15 years old. So these are not covered by the survey. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, it's covered. So cooperatives are included because this is a nationwide survey. So we've used, we provide assistance from PSA, the Philippine Statistical Authority, for the survey. And everyone is included, it's represented. But for this data, of course, it's very exclusive or restricted for 15 to 29 years old. So those youth like younger than 15 years old or more than 29 years old are not covered for this. Oh, yes, yes. Oh, I apologize. I just put in 15 for the youth and the young. So next time we could include. So until what age, if we can ask, so for our future presentations? 7 years old. Oh, that's very nice. Okay, that's good to know. I'm sorry, I apologize. I think the survey would only start from 15 years old and above. So it's only for adults, young adults. So we could, yes. I think the survey would not reach the young because we need to ask them questions. So I think they're not included. Thank you.
Thank you for that clarification. If anyone is interested to view the full report, financial inclusion survey report is posted on the BSP website. You can just go to www.bsp.gov.ph and download the report. So it will cover everything that was included in this survey. Okay. So for I guess I'm going to have last few minutes, taking a few minutes of your lunchtime, but I want to ask Ma'am Lenny if she would like to share some reflection or just a key message for our participants here, especially those who are joining us online, who are not from maybe from the Philippines, who may be able to get a key takeaway from our experience here as well.
Yeah, I think yeah, I actually really want to add to her question, because I think it's not a matter of how much you are saving. At a very young age, we need to inculcate that habit, because it looks like when you start early, when it becomes a habit, it looks like you wake up in the morning and you did not brush your teeth. So, a small drop of water becomes a creek becomes a river, and a river becomes an ocean. That's how we explain savings. So in our household, it is very important for parents to also inculcate them to their children, pass that generational wealth. Generational wealth is not only the assets that we are passing, but it is also the financial values that we are passing to the next generation. Otherwise, we are rich today, our next generation will be poor. So I think that's my message. Oh, sorry.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Ma'am Lenny. And please, a big round of applause, please, for our panelists this morning. So if please not twice, if I am summarizing your sharing correctly. So for Akila, her key message for today is to save. Just start saving. Okay, those are her two words. For Doc Ed, take it from theory to practice. So those are things that you can do. For Ma'am Lenny, it's self-help. Develop your habit of thrift and diligence. So I hope that's also the correct message. And from Director Marian, please remember to think, examine, and study before you do all your financial transactions. So with that, thank you so much to our panelists. Thank you so much, everyone, for your active participation. Maraming salamat po. Let me turn you back over to Ms. Lasalet for any announcements.
Thank you so much. Again, a round of applause to our resource speakers and to Ms. Lizette Antonio for moderating this session. It was a full-packed session. We have learned a lot and wish we had more time. Maybe in the future, Aflatun can arrange activities like this, maybe online, so that we can have more time for discussion and sharing. But thank you. We have learned a lot, from money protection to wealth building to integration in the curriculum. So we have all the bases covered. Again, many thanks to our source persons and moderator. And to present the token of appreciation, we will have a certificate of recognition awarded to our source speaker. And of course, some tokens to be awarded by our Visa team. May I invite our source speakers and moderator to be in front. And can I invite our BOD member from NATCO, Attorney Sally Cabanis, to award the certificate? And do we have a representative from CDA to join us also in awarding the certificate of recognition? And of course, we have our Visa friends and volunteers to award also the token of appreciation. Thank you so much once again, and that ends our morning session. Thank you to our audience and on those also joining us online for your active participation. And stay tuned for the second part of our Global Money Week this afternoon, and we will have an hour for lunch. Our lunch is to be served at the fifth floor. Fifth floor would be the venue for our lunch, and we also have our visa volunteers helping us and guiding us we will be taken to the lunch area. And there is also an ongoing press conference joined by our organizers from NATCO, from CDA, and VISA. So again, thank you and see you at 1 p.m. Enjoy your lunch, everyone.